Alright, we're back on the fantasy football edition of the Chris Leslie Show. I'm Chris Leslie. I mentioned kicker, one of my needs, okay? Yeah, I had picked up Nick Novak last week because my opponent, even though he started Cam Newton, his starting quarterback all season has been Phillip Rivers, so I wanted to get the kicker for the Chargers just in case, so that anytime he got field goals, it would negate some of the points that Phillip Rivers was going to get. And had he played Phillip Rivers, that would have been a great strategy. But even so, I got 19 points from him. So the point is that even though Nick Novak has a bye this week, based on his performance this week and last week, he's not a guy I want to cut by any means. So I need to get a kicker this week. So for this week, I'm going to need 2 kickers. And looking at the list of kickers right now, there's Olindo Mari, Ryan Longwell, Sebastian Janikowski, Billy Cundiff, Dan Carpenter, Lawrence Tynes, Matt Bryant, Nick Folk, and then it kind of falls off from there. But, okay, of the guys that are available right now, the one I'd like to get, Billy Cundiff. He's the Baltimore kicker because Baltimore moves the ball, they score, but they're not like an Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packer type of offense where they just move down the field at will and just put up touchdowns every time. They're a team I could see getting some field goals. Cundiff is available via waivers. I don't know if I want to waste a waiver pick trying to get him. I might just wait and see what happens as far as the kickers are concerned, and see who's a free agent. Janikowski is somewhat tempting because he can make some long field goals and you get more points for certain field goals over a certain distance. However, he can be inconsistent too. Olindo Mari, I'm not real big on. Ryan Longwell, Minnesota's kicker. And then Dan Carpenter, not a lot of confidence there. Lawrence Tynes, same deal. Matt Bryant, the Atlanta kicker. I don't know, for some reason out of all those guys, I really want to get Cundiff. So that's going to be the guy I have my eye on. Now, speaking of buys, if you have San Diego kicker, if you have, who's Denver's kicker? Matt Prater. Arizona's kicker, Jay Feely, Seattle's kicker, whoever the hell that is. You know, any of those, you're going to need a kicker this week. And chances are not many people devote a full roster spot to having a backup kicker. At least I wouldn't think so. So, that's that end of it, how I'm going to address that. Now we're going to just take a look around our league and just kind of give you a rundown of what happened on our league scoreboard, matchup by matchup, real quickly. Okay, we already went over my matchup with Crazy Bitch. Now, the next matchup is Team Thunderclap versus Team Legs. Team Thunderclap is 5-0 by way of his win yesterday, and Team Legs is now 2-3. And there's one other 5-0 team, so we have 2 teams that are undefeated right now. But take a look at Thunderclap's roster. Matt Stafford, quarterback. Darren McFadden, running back. Matt Forte, running back. Roddy White, wide receiver. Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver. Calvin Johnson, wide receiver. Rob Gronkowski, kicker. Detroit Lions defense. David Akers. Oh my God. Gronkowski's a tight end, I'm sorry. Lions defense, David Akers is a kicker. This is his bench. Michael Bush, Matt Ryan, Fred Davis, Tim Hightower, Michael Crabtree, Eric Decker, and Stephen Ridley. Now, Team Legs has Josh Freeman, Darren Sproles, D'Angelo Williams, Vincent Jackson, Steve Smith, Jordy Nelson, Kellen Winslow, the Bears defense, Steven Gostowski, that's where I got confused, he's there as kicker, and Anquan Bolden is on his bench, Tony Romo is on his bench, Mason Crosby on his bench, Jonathan Stewart Sean Green, Aaron Hernandez, and the Saints defense. As you may not be able to guess, Team Legs got his ass handed to him by Team Thunderclap, 90-66. And Team Thunderclap, that's a low score for Team Thunderclap. He's been getting usually about 130 points easy each game. I mean, in the matchups, you know, Stafford 14 points, Freeman 3, McFadden 6 points, Sproles 9, so that actually went Team Legs' way. Forte had 14, D'Angelo Williams 17, that went his way too. But then, when you get into the wide receivers, Roddy White 11, Vincent Jackson 3, Larry Fitzgerald 6, Steve Smith 13, so he's still doing okay there. Then here's one that really hurts. Calvin Johnson 19, Jordy Nelson 1. That's not going to get it done. Rob Gronkowski, New England's tight end 3, Kellen Winslow 5, that's kind of a wash. Detroit's defense 5, Chicago's defense 2, it's kind of a wash, and then the kickers are pretty even. So really, the big difference is the matchup between Calvin Johnson versus Jordy Nelson. If it wasn't for that matchup, the game would have been a lot closer. Now, just to take a look on these guys' bench, see if there was anybody on the bench that would have made a key difference. Yes, there was. I don't know how key of a difference this is. Well, actually, yes, it is a key difference, because on Team Legs' bench was Sean Green. He ended up with 14 points. So if you plug in those 14 points in place of, say, Vincent Jackson, that's a plus 11 swing right there, which would give you, instead of 66 points, you would be at 77 points just there. And then, what did Jordy Nelson get him? 1 point? So, is there anyone on his bench that did better than 1 point? Probably so. Well, only other guys he has is Anquan Bolden, who didn't do anything, probably had a bye or something, and John Stewart had 3 points. But so he couldn't have really done anything on his own that would have impacted the game. But if there wouldn't have been such a disparity between Calvin Johnson and Jordy Nelson, combined with the move he could have made, that could have been a difference maker. As far as Thunderclap goes, let's see if he left any critical points on the bench. It doesn't. I don't think he did, just from what I can tell. What the fuck? Sorry, my browser just gave me some issues here. Okay. So Team Thunderclap, nah, he didn't leave anything on the bench. Matt Ryan had 6 points, and Crabtree had 3, and Stephen Ridley had 1, and I don't think that's going to even come close to any of his starters. So, well played game by Team Thunderclap to get that win. Moving along, Linwood Silicone Pillows, which is my opponent, and if you want to know what that is, it's silicone pillows is kind of a expression for fake tits. Linwood Silicone Pillows defeated Dumpster Divers, who I defeated last week, who's our defending league champion 2 years running, the Dumpster Divers. He defeated them 92-87. So the Dumpster Divers are now, just like the rest of us bottom feeders, 1-4, by a score of 92-87. So that's a very close game. That's a 5-point game, and that can turn on any number of moves in any given week. Now, for the Dumpster Divers, it's tough because that's his 3rd loss in a row by a very small amount of points. He lost to the guy I lost to 2 weeks ago. He lost to him by maybe a couple points. He lost to me by 2 points, and he just lost by 5. So he's got to be pretty frustrated. So if you look at the Linwood Silicone Pillows roster, Eli Manning, 20 points. Cedric Benson, 5 points. Adrian Peterson, 30 fucking points. Maurice Jones-Drew, 14 points. Reggie Wayne, 7. Johnny Knox, 1. Brandon Pettigrew, 9. Titans defense, -1. Ryan Lindell, 7. Then, Aaron Rodgers, 23 points. Always good. He got 45 against me and I still won. LaDainian Tomlinson, 1 point. Ryan Matthews, 12 points. Deion Branch, 13. Nate Washington, 6. Jeremy Maclin, 11. Dustin Keller, 0. The Bengals defense, 15. Good performance from them. And Jason Hanson, 6. Down from what he had last week. So that 5-point game there, where he really seemed to lose out was obviously Adrian Peterson versus Ryan Matthews. That's a big disparity. Johnny Knox versus Jeremy Maclin. I mean, Jeremy Maclin is not a #1 wide receiver, and he got 11 points to Johnny Knox's 1. That's 10 points. Obviously, that would have made a difference. And then defensively, the Bengals with 15 points versus a -1. That's not going to get it done. Now, the dumpster divers really didn't leave too much on the bench, other than he acquired a receiver early morning before the game started, but evidently decided not to play him. And that was Early Duche, or Duquette, or however the fuck you pronounce it. He had 9 points yesterday for Arizona. So if you plug in those 9 points to, let's say, well, actually, you can only plug that into Nate Washington, and that only gives you a 3-point advantage, so that doesn't win you the game there. You're still short by 2. And then who else did he have? The Steelers defense, no. So there's nothing he could have done to win that game. Nothing. And then as far as Linwood Silicone Pillows, Frank Gore, 17 points. So you take out, let's say, Cedric Benson, and that's a +12 because he only had 5. Matt Castle, as quarterback, had 27 points, which is 7 points better than Eli Manning. No Sean Marino had 10 points, but you wouldn't have a place for him if you already replaced him on your roster with Frank Gore. So that's about it. So generally not much that could have changed either way in this one. Again, Linwood Silicone Pillows picking up the first win of the year, putting them at 1-4, and the Dumpster Divers, the 2-time defending league champions. I like to emphasize that because he has 2 trophies and he has 2 asterisks by his name to represent his 2 titles. He falls to 1-4, so he's gonna have a tough road back to the championship game as it looks right now. In our next matchup, Seattle Smoke versus Fat Guy in a Little Coat. The matchup that pits brother against brother. Okay, these guys are both newcomers to the league. Seattle Smoke is getting lucky. He beat me by a few points, and barely. He's 5-0. I have a feeling the bottom's going to fall out for him soon. Taking a look at his roster, he has Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Buffalo quarterback, 9 points. Chris Johnson, Tennessee's running back, 12 points. Beanie Wells, Arizona running back, 12 points. Pierre Garçon, very unexpected day here, 24 points. Mario Manningham, 5. Denarius Moore, 0. Owen Daniels, solid tight end performance, 8. Buccaneers defense. Remember I told you he got rid of Buffalo's defense? And they had a lot of points yesterday. Buccaneers defense, -6. So he had a -6 and he still won. And then Neil Racker's 10 points, which is, you know, pretty good. His brother, Fat Guy in a Little Coat, just 45 points. That's abysmal. Tom Brady, 14 points. Dexter McCluster, 1 point. LeGarrette Blount, 6 points. Sidney Rice, 3 points. Steve Johnson, 2 points. Mike Williams, no points. Tony Gonzalez, 6 points. Giants defense, 6 points. Mike Nugent, 7. So he pretty much had some real mediocre performances from some of his key guys. and then just some guys just didn't show up at all. So that puts Seattle Smoke at 5-0, tied for first place, but I don't think that's going to last too long. And then Fat Guy in a Little Coat falls to 2-3, which he's going to fall further than that, trust me. On the bench, Fat Guy in a Little Coat. Wow. Yeah, the 49ers defense, 21 points yesterday. He had them on his bench in favor of the New York Football Giants, who only had 6 points. So if you take away that, that's a solid 15-point swing. Okay, so let's add that to 45. That puts you at 60. Then Thomas Jones had 5 points. But, well, Dexter McCluster had 1. Okay, so there's another 4 points. So there's 64 points. But that's it, because his backup quarterback's Matt Hasselbeck, 2 points less than Brady. Not a damn thing he could have done. Seattle Smoke, 74 points. Kind of get the feeling he took it easy on his little brother. Malcolm Floyd for San Diego, 16 points on his bench. And that was, he could have replaced Mario. How about just, he could have replaced Denarius Moore. There's 16 points right there. Jay Cutler over Fitzpatrick, but who in the world in their right mind would make that move? That would have been a 4-point swing. So, just right there you have 20 points that he could have been better off. Running backs wise, that wouldn't have helped him. So yeah, so really not a lot that could have been done on this matchup, other than I guess Seattle Smoke could have won by even more. And then that brings us to the final matchup that we looked at today, and that's FU Guys I Quit versus Like Kobayashi. Now, going into this one, FU Guys I Quit was 1-4, and Like Kobayashi was 3-1. So this is kind of a big upset. And I made a big trade with FU Guys I Quit last week. I traded him Andre Johnson, Matt Schaub, Nate Burleson, and Robbie Gould in exchange for Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Turner, Mason Crosby, and Greg Olson. And that trade helped me out a lot. Hasn't helped him out that much because Andre Johnson's hurt. But we'll look at this. He got 14 points from Mark Sanchez, 26 points from the law firm, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, 10 points from Mark Ingram, 12 points from Santonio Holmes, 2 points from Percy Harvin, 15 points from AJ Green, 15 from Vernon Davis, 17 from the Vikings defense. That's a pretty solid day. And 9 from Robbie Gould. His opponent, Like Kobayashi, 20 points from Breeze, 9 from Ahmad Bradshaw, 16 from LaShawn McCoy, 5 from James Starks, 2 from Brandon Lloyd, 12 from Hakeem Nicks, 1 from Tony Scheffner, 8 from the Packer defense, and 6 from Alex Henry. So, excuse me, pretty one-sided affair, 120 to 79. Let me do the math again. That's roughly 21 plus 20. That's 41 points. I don't know what Like Kobayashi could have done to improve his outing. Well, he could have gotten a +7 had he put in Marshawn Lynch in favor of Ahmad Bradshaw, but who would have thought to do that? So there's 7 points. Then Victor Cruz had 20. So yeah, he could have taken out, let's say, Brandon Lloyd, and that would have been an 18-point swing. So 7 plus 18 is 25, so we're almost getting there. But then again, then that's it. So he couldn't have won. Nothing he could have done. FU Guys I Quit. The only different move he could have made that would have benefited him in any way was he could have played Matt Schaub over Mark Sanchez, and that would have been a 6-point differential. So really not much that could have been done there. Pretty, you know, played out like it should. So that puts F You Guys I Quit 1-4, Like Kobayashi 3-2, and just barely holding on to the 4th playoff spot. So if we take a look here at our standings right now, the standings show Team Thunderclap at 5-0, first place. Seattle Smoke 5-0, 2nd place. Crazy Bitch 4-1, 3rd place. Like Kobayashi 3-2, 4th place. Fat Guy in a Little Coat 2-3, 5th place. Team Legs 2-3, 6th place. The 2-time champion Dumpster Divers 1-4. Me, Retard Short Bus, What a Dumb Shit 1-4, and in 8th place. 9th place F You Guys I Quit 1-4, and 10th place Linwood Silicone Pillows at 1-4. That kind of gives you an idea of where things sit around the league. We're going to come back and wrap things up, kind of give you a preview of this week's fantasy matchups, maybe give you some ideas as to how to handle your bye weeks, and then that will be that. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap things up here on the Chris Leslie Show, Fantasy Football Hour. Thank you. Need some water. I'm parched.